For Hindmarsh.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. How is the government supporting investment in the critical drivers of economic growth, especially productive infrastructure? Is the government aware of any potential impediments to infrastructure investment in Australia?
The Treasurer has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And I thank the member for Hindmarsh for his question and his keen interest in these issues of infrastructure, because he knows how critical they are to the growth of the South Australian economy. A healthy and targeted infrastructure program is central to the government's plan to grow jobs and to grow the economy. And this position, Mr Speaker, has been recently noted by the IMF, who said that continuing to establish a pipeline of quality, larger projects with transparent cost-benefit analysis is recommended. But they went further, Mr Speaker, and they said this. They said the authorities, that is the Australian government's Asset Recycling Initiative and Northern Australia Infrastructure Facility, provided scope for additional investment in high-priority infrastructure projects as they are identified, while meeting the government's medium-term fiscal strategy. Now, Mr Speaker, this is reinforced in this year's budget, which confirmed again the $50 billion infrastructure investment commitment of this government. Projects like WestConnex, the continued upgrade of the Pacific Highway, the Swan Valley Bypass, the North-South Corridor, of course, which South Australian members and the member in particular would be keenly interested in, and significant additional commitments there recently. The Midland Highway upgrade, the Toowoomba Second Ridge Crossing, and of course the Gold Coast Light Rail, which was recently announced by the Prime Minister last weekend. Now, Mr Speaker, despite the boasting of the member for Grayndler, who tends to boast quite a bit about these matters, Mr Speaker, I thought it would be important to remind the House and share with the House that the Commonwealth share of investment, as measured by the Australian Bureau of Statistics, when we came to office in September 2013 was 5.1%. That figure today, Mr Speaker, on the most recent figures is 6.3%. 6.3%. In addition, the Commonwealth share of public investment has gone from 29.3% under those opposite when they left office, and it is now 35.6%. Now, you may think differently, Mr Speaker, based on the boasts of the member for Grayndler, who claims to have laid every single brick in this country over the time that they were elected. He was at every single concrete pour, Mr Speaker, so much so that I thought I should go and check on the Sydney Harbour Bridge opening design to see if his name was on it, to see if he'd changed his name from Bradfield to Albanese, perhaps, Mr Speaker. Perhaps he constructed Stonehenge, Mr Speaker. Perhaps Machu Picchu, as the minister mentioned yesterday. The great infrastructure builder of the ancient wonders of the world, Mr Speaker, is the member for Grayndler. But, Mr Speaker, what we have to focus on when it comes to infrastructure is you have to afford to pay for it. You have to afford to pay for it, and you need to ensure that you have a fiscal strategy where you keep control on the recurrent expenditure so you can focus on important projects like this, Mr Speaker, and so you can grow the economy, so you can grow revenue to balance the budget.